Something? No? I'm not so bad. Worst. Carlos?
Nobody told me, no.
So it sounds like you lost your car.
Carlos. Carles.
Carlos. Lost in translation. Good. Yeah. Germany?
Germany fine.
Germany fine. No, even Madonna last night was putting a German flag around in Cologne and showing, I love Germany. But that's good for business. When you have a performance in Germany, put a German flag around you. She's so opportune. Good. We know us from a long time.
Yeah, some years ago.
From here.
From here, yeah.
Eh? Something new?
Same thing.
Same thing. And some new questions? Go ahead. Some new questions? Yeah. So, something in the back?
Not yet.
Not yet. You're from?
Belgium.
Belgium. Oh.
That's my daughter.
My parents.
Ah.
Yeah, maybe that was new.
From where in Belgium? From where?
Belgium.
Yeah, where?
The Flemish part. Flemish part.
But
Those
it's
two
quite big.
Leuven.
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 35.
Next to Germany.
No. All Belgium is
Not really. It's 1 hour, like.
all Belgium is next to
Next to
Germany.
Brussels somewhere. Half an hour away.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Belgium everything is half an
Okay,
hour.
half an hour. even Germany.
Especially Holland and France.
Yeah.
And,
Also.
wow.
And Luxembourg. And Luxembourg. It's important.
Wow. Because of the money.
Yeah. But I have any.
You really sandwich.
I have any.
You don't have money?
No.
What are you doing here?
Visiting my daughter.
So you are familiar with what we're talking about? Or?
Ja, ik weet wel over dat wat hè. Nee. Eigenlijk niet zo.
I'm coming into it. I'm coming into it.
Okay, you're just listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the most clever part.
Yeah, I think so.
You just start listening.
Yeah.
And
I heard about you. That's why.
I went many times to Brussels 10 years ago. But heavy. The French have no questions, it shows.
Oh, yeah.
They have no questions. They just look at you and... No, I had always to bring from Holland, the Dutch people from Amsterdam and from Germany to have a party. Otherwise it's fun, I like Brussels. Early 80s I was quite often. Flea market I like. Hunting old paintings. That's good. So, Andrew, you're my last hope. You run out of your hope. I run out of my last hope. Or maybe the couple there. You're from?
Coincidentally, also from Belgium.
It's like an invasion today. You're also from the Flemish part?
Also, yes.
Wow.
From Ghent.
From Ghent? She's from Ghent. Charlotte. Charlottchen. So how is Ghent?
Ghent is alright.
Yeah, I was 2 months or 5 weeks ago I was there.
Yeah.
bloody raining. But it's quite nice, yeah.
It's better than where they come from.
I had even a talk in Ghent in 2003, I think, before. From this, there was a lady who, homeopathic doctor or something, she invited me. She always came to Brussels.
What's her name?
What was her name? I cannot remember. It was 12 years ago.
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie.
I know her.
Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
One big family. She was quite big.
Yeah, she is quite big.
Maybe she was shrinking now.
No, she's
Still the same. That sounds good. Sounds healthy. Okay. So, Holland, there's another Dutch speaking. Fully off. There's one today, it's really like a Flemish. Something from Holland?
Yes.
No, he is from Holland. You are not. You are from
The English speaking part of Belgium.
English part. That's new. Now everyone is curious, right? Lots of things. What's going on here today? The colonies now becomes the Belgian colony here. So some English-speaking Ghent question.
Sorry, one yet, sorry.
What?
Haven't got one yet, sorry.
Not yet. Okay. Then the next one. Italy. Japan. Germany.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about silence.
Silence. Yeah, he has something with silence. No, the who am I is like a pointer to silence, so I would say, if you ask me more. Any question about it?
To make this way my practice, I have to calm down the mind, because this question can lead to many answers that mind try to find.
No, the mind will make it a technique where the mind is the answer to the question. That's the danger of it. That's why you have to, maybe it needs one who is, whatever. It's always, if you do it, if it's a doing, it's wrong anyway. It's like an active question, I mean, questioning himself. He will always be the answer to the question, but he is not. So then maybe the silence is more being quiet, and then the question is there. The unpronounced question. Then you give attention to the world, like the first who, the world, the presence, and then you stay with it for a time. Just this. Until whatever you say, the perception is shifting from the world to the I amness. And then staying in the I amness for a while. That who is dropping, then the I am, and then the M is dropping, and maybe then the I remains, and then you stay for whatever time. There's no guarantee how long, whatever, there is no need for anything. The I will drop. And silence will remain. But the silence without anyone who is in silence. That's all, but if you do it as an active question, like I'm meditating now, like who am I, you can do it for thousands of years, it just leads always to one who is the answer. I am the answer to the question, who am I? But it's not the absolute I. The silence is this omnipresence of silence, which is uninterrupted, is always, never needs any answer. So you are the unpronounced, which is, cannot be found in the pronounced, that's all. So that what never can be pronounced by anything. But that what is pronouncing itself in everything is always that what is silence. So silence is reality realizing itself as I am who. And the way back is who am I? And the silence is always the origin of the question I am who and who am I. So the self, the Shiva experiencing himself as little one, I am who, and then who am I, and then Shiva himself is the answer. But not by, there is one who is Shiva. That's the answer as Shiva not knowing himself, being the silence of absolute not knowing what it is and what is not. Because silence means there is no possibility of I. Because in silence, when nothing ever moves, there is no I possible. So that's what lives from movement, from experiences. You just, it drops away by itself, and you remain as an absolute leftover, which is silence, which is not reached by anyone. It was not by that attained by anyone. But you're right, if you do it as a questioner, using that question, you always be someone who then claims, I realize my true nature. I am the answer of the question. That's the danger in that.
Because this who is questioning always kind of...
It's the last trick of the mind, or that what is a phenomenal experience, that even the phenomenal experience becomes a non-phenomenal experience and then being the answer of the phenomenal experience. So the absence is claimed again by who? This emptiness then is claimed by my emptiness. The ownership is not killed by that. There's still ownership running. My true nature. That's a joke in itself. My natural state. There is no possibility of anyone in that natural state of existence. The natural state of self is not knowing any self. Neither knowing nor not knowing anything. That's your natural state. But not anyone who claims that's my natural state. Because me cannot remain to me in that where there is no anchor, no harbor, nothing to hold me in place. There is just a, it has to, you cannot breathe anymore. There is silence. And silence is like impossible. It burns everything away just by being silent. Yeah, so hula. So there are different ways of using that hula. And I think this guy meant it in that more that silence is the answer, but not you. So you cannot make it personal or impersonal. That's what is the object left. And no one can claim that to be. So even if you say I am the absolute, it's fake. The absolute would never claim to be the absolute.
So I cannot know myself.
There was never anyone who knew himself. Never ever. And the whole tradition of all Advaita, all the traditions of Upanishads, there was never anyone who realized his true self. That's quite okay. And you will not be the first one. That's quite a release. Oh, there was never anyone who knew himself. And this one, even this one will fail. All the one who before me failed to know himself. Even Buddha failed to know Buddha. And you will be not the first Buddha who knows Buddha. No? What did Buddha say? If you meet Buddha on the way, kill him by knowing that there will never be any Buddha showing himself. So whoever claims to be Buddha, oh, you are Buddha. And my no, in that sense, it never shows. Never part of any experience or no experience. Whatever can be claimed for sure is not what you are. And that, which has no presence, I call it always pre-sense, that there is in no sense, that what you cannot not be. You are by your nature, and not by anything else, and that you never left, and that you cannot attain by any means. It's just things drop away, you can say. That way the abstraction, the Jnani way is to abstract everything. It becomes the absolute abstract. And being the absolute abstract, there is no one who can be the absolute abstract, because there is no ownership left in it. And without anything what can be owned, you absolutely have no anchor, nothing to hold on to. There is no possibility of remaining this relative I. So becoming the total substratum, the substrate, everything what can be substrate, until you even substrate the substrator. Because he drops by himself and he has nothing left anymore to substrate. This is natural killing. That is Brahmanas clearing the fire of awareness. You become aware that all of that what you can be aware of is fake, false. And you burn it just by being aware of falsity. But the last is to burn even that one away who is aware of being everything is false, because even himself is false. False. So there are many techniques, and if it meant to happen, they all work. But it's not meant to happen, so it may work, but in spite of the technique, because for the self, every technique is okay. But if the self is not involved and it's not meant to happen, I think it will just like nothing will happen. But it's meant to happen by whatever, you don't even know what. It just drops. It will always be in spite or whatever. Whatever this happening is already the realization of reality. It cannot be avoided anyway. So. And the same thing is if there will be one moment when this falls or the veil is dropping, then it will drop. Like this tree, sadhu sitting under these trees and so suffering. The sage comes and tells him, no, you will be enlightened, but it will take thousands of lifetimes. As many leaves on these trees, as many lifetimes it will take to get enlightened. And two, and one, we will enlighten. But then who cares when? Because if it will happen anyway, who cares when? Then you're already enlightened, because it will happen anyway. And whatever you do and don't do, it will happen anyway. And who fucking cares when? This relative self who came from whatever, it will be gone one day. This fleeting shadow will take, but it will be burned out by the eternal fire when it will be burned out. So it will be burned out. And who cares when? So when it will happen anyway, it already happened. So one is, already enjoying himself, and the other one, it takes too long, we won't have it now, I'm back at Thomas' friend. I'm survivor, my God, darling. I want it now. So what to do? Then I'm sitting here and telling you, this came to you and it will be gone one day. The phantom is like a sickness who came and the sickness will be gone. So what? What's the problem? You could not avoid that it came, and you cannot avoid that it will go. So it's already gone. And just enjoy the helplessness of your nature. Total, absolute helplessness. If you could have avoided when it comes, you would have avoided it. And now it's there, and now it's just like it will burn out, because everything burns out, sooner or later. So it's already gone. So the ignorance you're now experiencing it came to you, it will be gone one day. And then comes something else, because after that, it's always the next comes. Don't hope even that it will end. Because it's not the case. Because the realization of what you are will never end. You will always realize yourself in discomfort. If you like it or not. that divine accident where Buddha talks about happened. An accident, the meaning of an accident is you cannot avoid an accident. It was meant to happen, even for the Absolute, the Parabrahman. He could not avoid starting to dream. Now it's too late. So what to do? Now, as the Absolute Parabrahman, this is Absolute dream. And the Absolute dream means everything what can be dreamt has to be dreamt. All the possibilities and even impossibilities of realization have to be there. For that what you are. As absolute as you are, as absolute is your realization. So what to do? And I sit here and tell you, you can only realize and experience yourself and dream yourself as a relative dreamer. But experiencing yourself as a relative dreamer, you are not becoming a relative dreamer, you're still what you are. Experience yourself as relative dreaming, you are not the relative dreamer who is dreaming, you're still that what you are. And then experience yourself in this dream of relative whatever is still not making you different. The reality of nature never lost its nature. The nature, the life itself is always what is alive and now is living itself. And there's no beginning to a nature as the life has this living. There is no beginning in it and no end. So what to do? You're waiting for Godot. Godot. Godot or God. Well, I always said you're waiting for God. Oh, but God will never come. Because God is already here. More God is not possible. This waiting for God, this is like God waiting for himself. This is a joke. This is a final joke. You waited all the time, but that what you waited for was already present. Absolute present. What a joke. But you believe it has to be a special one. A special event, an enlightenment event. When God arrives, now it should be light. And the trumpets of Jericho. What comes today? Here I present him. God can know his glory. Now experience himself as oneness. The seer and the seen is one. And he is now the God who knows himself. Ta-da! Ta-da! Flowers, sings and singing, bhajas, boom boom. One realized God sitting in front of unrealized gods. Ta-da! Ta-da! Wonderful. That's called satsang. The joke has no limit and no expiring date. So what to do? And I can just remind you that by that whatever experience of birth or anything, you still are what you are. So nothing will happen. So what to do? But as you cannot control yourself, you cannot control your realization. If there would be a second self, maybe there would be a possibility of controlling it. But as there is not even a self to control, what to do? Problems over problems. So I ensure the minds that's a problem, that there is no mind will never go. So you can rest even in that. So never mind. No one wants something from you. You can stay forever. No one cares if you're there or not. It's quite relaxing for the mind. Huh? No one wants you to go. No one needs you to go. You're absolutely perfect. You're totally enjoyed by what you are. Isn't that, wow, God doesn't need me to go. All this pressure, all that ideas that I'm false and I'm wrong and saying all of that. No one is after me. I can just enjoy to be in mind. And then you create a problem again. Because you are the most inventive, creative mind ever. The absolute mind, which is absolute intellect, who will create again and again these problems, because without problems you cannot survive, it sinks. don't know how it is. There will always be a problem that there is no problem. That problem is, you can be solid. Solid as a rock.
How do you deal with physical pain?
There's a doctor. If I find one. I rarely go to doctors. A long time ago. For the last checking up was 10 years ago. Check-up. And the doctor told me I don't make money with you. You have this pharma genes, they call it.
What?
Pharma genes.
Farmer genes.
Pharma.
On farm?
Yes.
The pharma genes are not good for pharmacies.
Farm.
Yeah, from the farm. Cowboy genes.
Farmer genes.
Yeah, farmer.
Farmer, okay.
And pharmacies would get bankrupt if everyone has his pharma genes. This inner cowboy. The one who loves shit. They rarely need shrinks. If you love the shit, what happens? The shit doesn't anyway. If you love it anyway. Or you hate it anyway, it doesn't matter. If you hate it anyway or love it anyway, it's okay. It has to be unconditional. But yeah, it makes no difference. If you're in unconditional hate, you're fine. Because then you don't know what is love. And if you're unconditional love, it's fine too, but it has to be unconditional. Not, I love this more than this, and I hate this and this. This is pain. And then you always want to have this one side, not the other side. I want to be healthy and not sick. But I hate to be healthy as much as I hate to be sick. Because I hate to be that I have to be anything at all. In the beginning. What to do? So I hate it from the beginning to the end.
It's a good message for the newcomer.
No, it's mostly more fun in hating than in loving, because if I would tell someone, you have to love yourself, to be yourself, how can I do that? But you're all masters of hate. Hate comes natural to everyone. Everyone hates to wake up in the morning because it was not so bad being not present. Or not? If you could stay in deep sleep forever, you would never wake up. You would start, oh, me again. Wait until I don't open my eyes. Oh, there's somebody. Oh, somebody is here. And then your bladder is pressure. You're always under pressure waking up. Oh, first coffee or first toilet? So you try to make it better when you have a body. Coffee, I need coffee. And then when the toilet is more urgent. So go to the toilet and you pass the mirror. Oh! And it gets worse every day. Then see, okay, first shaving first, then slow, saving you have to really look for. Otherwise it's maybe painless. That's why they invented electric shavers. Make it blind. And then coffee. The whole day you try to make it more comfortable, or at least more bearable having a body. But I tell you, if you could stop it, at any moment you say, put a button, push here, you're gone, you would never leave that button alone.